Hey, it's Rob. Welcome to Axel's Garage. So I got all kinds of projects going on. I got to get some work done on the Chevelle. I'm working on the Big Dummies K5 Blazer, and my wife comes home and says, honey, the car doesn't feel right. Yeah. Those of you that have wives, daughters that drive, or women in your life that you're responsible for the maintenance of their vehicle know what's coming next. A long-winded story on, well, I was parked and then I pulled out of a spot and the car shook, and I was turning the wheel, making a right-hand turn, and the car shook again, and a whole bunch of stuff. I couldn't tell whether it was brakes, steering, suspension, engine. No, whatever she was telling me was just blah, 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 blah. So I go out to the car, start it up, and it's running rough. So I guess that's what she meant. It's running rough. And of course, the check engine light was on, and so was the low fuel light, because like any women in my life, they don't put fuel in a vehicle until the low fuel light comes on, and they drove around for half a day and were afraid they were going to run out of gas, and that's when they go get more gas. Anyway, run the code on the check engine light, and it comes up with a temperature sender error, which is common in these when they're warming up. Every once in a while, a little triple light because the temperature, the normal operating temperature is below the range it's supposed to be at, and it's just a normal glitch in these things. It's a lazy temperature sender, and also sometimes it's a stuck thermostat, which is common on these also. But that wasn't what was making the engine run rough. It was running rough. The exhaust smelled kind of funky, and you know what I mean when I say funky. It just didn't smell right. So I cleared the codes out and let her drive it around, and because it was running okay, it was just running rough. And she drove around for another week. Engine light popped again. I checked the code and I get a P0304, which is a cylinder number 4 misfire detected. And I'll show you what that looks like right now. All right, so now with that information, I got some better information on what to do. Now, what I would normally do is get in the car, get about 15 gallons of fresh fuel from a station that does a high volume of fuel, so the fuel's always fresh. Go put some fresh fuel in it and go put a bottle of Techron in it. And that's a trick that a local mechanic that I trust and I bring my stuff to when I can't fix it, don't have the time to fix it, or it's beyond my knowledge. He always says when you get some kind of misfire, or it could be a fuel injector, it could be, you know, a coil, anything like that, he goes, the best thing to do, especially if you haven't done it in a while, put fresh gas in it, put a bottle of Techron in it, run it through, clean out that fuel system, and then see where you're at. So before I go do that, you know, it's a couple days later now, and it's a nice day on a Saturday. It's Holy Saturday today, Easter tomorrow, and I was gonna go do that, and I get in the car, and of course the low fuel light, yeah, it's on again, and she couldn't have been driving around for 5 days with the low fuel light on, so she got fuel, but only, you know, put like, you know, you can't put $5 or $10 worth of fuel in a vehicle anymore. It just doesn't work like it did when we were in high school. So anyway, get in the car, pull it around, low fuel light on, and what I was gonna do was just go through a visual inspection to make sure that a spark plug wire didn't fall off, a spark plug wire didn't get burnt, and everything looked secure. There was no obvious signs of any problems. So it's a visual inspection. Should be pretty easy, right? Now, I'm used to V8 cars, especially older stuff. The newest stuff I really dabbled into are Chevy LS engines in the Suburban and the Tahoes and shit like that we have. So I opened the hood on this Trailblazer. Now this is a 2004 Trailblazer. It's not that old, or it's not that new. And I open the hood and I don't see anything. Everything's covered in plastic shrouds. So I start taking the plastic shrouds off, looking for a spark plug wire, a spark plug, coil packs, anything, right, that I need to visually inspect for this problem, right, which could be your fuel supply, right, up to your injectors. Now, your fuel supply is probably good because all the other cylinders aren't misfiring, it's just this one. So it could be the fuel injector on cylinder number 4, could be the coil on cylinder number 4, could be the electronics going to the coil or going to the spark plug on cylinder number 4. But I can't find a freaking spark plug in this thing. I can't find the coils. I just have to start taking plastic off. So I took plastic off so that I could expose what I thought were the coil packs, which they are the coil packs, but there's more to it than that. And I'm gonna move the camera. If you haven't seen this crap, let me show you what this crap looks like. It's just unbelievable. All right, so I take the plastic crap off the top. This is some kind of air box coming from the air intake and going over to the intake. So you got your air filter would be in here. This one's sort of laying in the middle with two hoses, a couple sensors on it, going right to your throttle body, okay, back there. And then what you have underneath are your 6 cylinders and what look to be coil packs on top of them. So I said, you know what, just let me get this out of the way. All right, I said, you know what, just let me pull one out and just make sure it you know, looks okay. So I pull it out, and it's just one 10mm bolt. Doesn't come all the way out, just unloosens and then stays in there. You disconnect the wire from there, and here's your coil pack. And when I pull it out, I hear a boop, and it sounded like I was pulling a spark plug wire off. Well, sure as shit, right? This is not only the coil, but it's the spark plug wire itself down in that hole. I don't know if you could see it, but down in that hole is a boot end for a spark plug. And when you look in the engine, right, and we go down in that hole, I don't know if I can get all the way in there, you'll see the spark plug is in there. So the spark plugs are in the top of the engine here with the coil, and it's all one thing. So it's the coil and it's the spark plug wire all in one thing. There's no signs of any obvious damage or anything like that. So I'm going to put it all back together. Okay, so armed with that knowledge that this is a standalone spark plug wire, it's got some kind of rubber boot. I don't know if this boot comes off. Oh, it seems to turn. Yeah, it seems like it comes off. It's got like a rubber boot. I guess this is the insulator to go onto the spark plug, right? And this gel kind of stuff with the heat sink on top is going to be a coil. It's like a self-contained thing, which sucks because I've never seen anything like this before, but it's good in a troubleshooting way. I'm going to put this in exactly the way it was, reconnect the wire, and if the car still runs like shit, okay, we know nothing was accomplished. Sometimes, you know, it was a wire connection that would make it be bad. This is the one out of the number 4, which is where our misfire is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it back in exactly where it was. I'm going to take the car over to a station, and I'm going to get about 15 gallons. The big bottle of Techron treats 20 gallons. I usually put 15 gallons in. So I'm going to put 15 gallons of fuel in because she's on dead empty. So I know 15 gallons is probably going to give me 15 to 16 in the tank. And I'm going to put a bottle of Techron in. We're going to drive it around for a couple days, see if that changes anything. If it doesn't change anything, our first line of troubleshooting is going to be popping this bad boy back out, moving it to cylinder number 3, and putting cylinder number 3 in cylinder number 4. So all we're doing is swapping this one part. Remember, one thing at a time when you're troubleshooting, so you know whether or not that had any effect on what you're doing. So the first thing we did was take this out and reinstall it, reconnect the wires, make sure everything is good. That doesn't help. We know that wasn't a problem. We'll go do the fuel thing. That doesn't help. Okay, let's rule out a bad coil or a spark plug boot connection or whatever is in here to make up the spark plug wire, and we'll swap it. So now if the problem goes away on cylinder number 4 when we swap this and comes in on cylinder number 3 where we put it, we know that this is the thing that's bad. If there's no change, we know, all right, this was good, let's see what else it could be, and then we got to focus maybe on a fuel delivery, a clogged injector or something like that. Now on the LS engines and the Suburbans and the Yukons that we have, I have had that problem where I've gotten a certain cylinder misfire and I've swapped coils, didn't change it, and it turned out it was fuel injectors. And it's usually fuel injectors because of shit fuel or always running your damn tank down to empty. So this is step 1. I'm going to put this back in. I'm going to go get some Techron. I'm going to go get some fuel, get it all sloshed around in there, and let her drive around for a couple days, keeping that fuel level above, you know, well, shouldn't say that. I'm going to let her run it back down again because we want to get as much of that Techron in and put some fresh fuel in and see what happens. But we're troubleshooting a P0304, which is a number 4 misfire. I'm guessing that a 305 or a 303 might be a 3 misfire or a 5 misfire. I'm thinking that 030 is your misfire, and then the last number is going to be which cylinder the misfire is on. So this is a P0304 cylinder 4 misfire on this 2004 Chevy Trailblazer. They're pretty much the same from 2002 to 2009. Never seen this before. I don't necessarily like it, but it does make troubleshooting a little easier because everything's all self-contained in one thing. They're probably expensive. Who knows? We'll see. That's it today from Axel's Garage. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Real quick one, troubleshooting. We'll continue along when we get an update on what our next step is or what we have to do. So this is video 1. Who knows how many videos there's going to be, but this is video 1 in the series of our troubleshooting on this Trailblazer. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please give us that thumbs up. Click the subscribe button. Check out Axel's Kitchen for all you foodies. We're doing restaurant reviews. We're traveling a little bit, so we're doing out-of-town restaurant reviews. Subscribe to our channel, and as always, thanks for watching.